Hey, Kiki here and welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well and has had a lovely day, and today we're going to react to Josephine's romance from Dragon Age Inquisition. So on that note guys, let's get straight into it.
The Inquisition cannot remain, Ambassador, if you can't prove it was founded on Justinia's orders.
This is an inopportune time, Marquis. More of the faithful flock here each day. But allow me to introduce you to the brave soul who risked his life to slow the magic of the breach. Sir Trevelyan, may I present the Marquis d'Aurelion, one of Divine Justinia's greatest supporters.
And the rightful owner of Haven.
Ooh.
House d'Aurelion lent Justinia these lands for pilgrimage. This Inquisition is not a beneficiary of this arrangement.
This is the first I've heard of Haven having an owner outside the Chantry.
My wife, Lady Machin of Denerim, has claimed to Haven by ancient treaty with the monarchs of Ferelden. We were honored to lend its use to Divine Justinia. She was a woman of supreme merit. I will not let an upstart order remain on her holy grounds.
People have been injured. You can't just turn them out onto the snow.
And who benefits if they stay?
Divine Justinia, Marquis. The Inquisition, not the Chantry, is sheltering the pilgrims who mourn her.
Why is the Chantry ignoring the faithful?
Because it remains in shock. We face a dark time, Your Grace. Divine Justinia would not want her passing to divide us. She would, in fact, trust us to forge new alliances to the benefit of all, no matter how strange they might seem.
I'll think on it, Lady Montilyet.
Ooh, will you now?
The Inquisition might stay in the meanwhile.
Do the d'Aurelions actually have a claim on this place?
His Grace's position is not so strong as he presents it. Despite their Ferelden relations, the d'Aurelions are Orlesian. If the Marquis wishes to claim Haven, Empress Selene must negotiate with the Ferelden on his behalf. Her current concerns are a bit larger than minor property disputes.
Yeah.
I apologize for the intrusion. I didn't realize you were meeting with the Marquis.
You did little harm. In truth, the debate was most beneficial as practice for those to come.
You expect more people in Haven?
Undoubtedly. And each visitor will spread the story of the Inquisition after they depart. An ambassador should ensure the tale is as complimentary as possible.
I do love her outfit.
May I ask what brought you to work for the Inquisition?
Sister Leliana approached me. We've been acquainted for quite some time. For better or worse, being the Inquisition's diplomat has become as interesting as she promised.
What sort of dealings have you had with nobility?
For some years, I was the royally appointed court ambassador from Antivan to Orlesian. The nobility of Thedas is a rather singular sphere. Those I'm not acquainted with, I know through reputation.
The Inquisition is lucky to have you as an advocate, Lady Montilyet.
Thank you. Let us hope so. Thedas's politics have become agitated as of late. I hope to guide us down smoother paths. But please excuse me. I've much work to do before the day is done.
How do you and Leliana know each other?
We moved through similar circles in Orlesian. I believe we actually met in Val Royeaux. Leliana was quite an accomplished player of the game by then.
What exactly do you mean when you say the game?
Oh, PTSD!
Forgive me.
The game.
Refers to the slow duels of influence among the noble and powerful.
God
of
awful.
Orlesian.
Basically, you're being
It's a
fake.
light-hearted name for the matter, but Orlesians are fond of playful touches.
Just basically
business are the
being fake
Montiliers
the
in
entire
exactly?
time.
We began as merchants. My ancestors founded the first trade routes to Rivain. We once sent entire fleets across the waking sea.
But not anymore.
No. These days, our vessels are a touch more modest.
I'd swear our families have met before.
Perhaps. Everyone of distinction in the free marches attends Lady Trevelyan's summer balls.
Great Aunt Lucille always did love a party.
I don't recall seeing you at any of them.
Attend one ball and you'll fend off invites for a dozen more.
That reminds me. The Herald of Andraste has received several invitations from the curious.
To parties? How many am I getting?
Only 17 this month, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's too
What
much.
did you do before coming here?
I had the great honor of serving Antiva's crown as ambassador to Orlais. I'm also first in line to become the head of House Montilier, though my siblings attend to our mercantile affairs.
How strong are your past loyalties?
I would never have given up my position if I did not intend to fully commit to the Inquisition. We cannot fall back on borders. Antiva is as threatened as any country by the rebellions. If anything, the alliances I forged there may help our current cause.
Do you think the Inquisition will continue after we seal the breach?
If we prove ourselves by healing the breach, people may turn to us for other things. Protection, counsel, justice. The Inquisition offered these once to those in need.
Tell me, do you believe I was saved by Andraste at the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
I should much like to believe so, Your Worship. The miracles Andraste performed were so long ago, they're difficult to picture. If it were truly her and the Fate who saved you... Well, in any case, many already believe you walk in the Maker's light.
Watching this back now
later.
is so interesting
Another
because we literally know everything that's happened.
I'll take my leave. Good day.
Who was she, Ambassador?
A merchant. I thought we should reach out to the dwarves to secure lyrium for the Inquisition's mages. According to Lady Corpin, it raised the ire of the Chantry.
How?
Access to lyrium makes us rather more formidable than anticipated. We're becoming a challenge. Sadly, the remaining Grand Clerics appear to be consolidating the Chantry's power, instead of comforting the masses.
Mage circles started falling years ago. The Chantry was troubled even before the Divine's murder.
Yet many people continue to bear it great love. We will not benefit from its decline. Little but the Chantry ties Orlais, Nevarra, Ferelden, Antiva, and even Rivain to a common cause.
Has the Chantry truly promoted such peace?
Andraste's chant is familiar across kingdoms, a source of many shared customs. That is the crucial point. Common ground is the start of all negotiations.
Can't really
I
argue with
suppose a
that.
shared faith can be useful when talking with strangers.
Precisely. And these similar interests are merely where we begin. We must learn to think beyond our own wants to secure peace in Thedas.
How did someone so lovely and selfless go into Orlesian politics, Lady Montilier?
Well, that is, really, you give me too much credit.
No.
While you're here, I do have a question.
You are literally the best.
The remaining Grand Clerics sent a missive inquiring about the events at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. They demand to know whether the Inquisition officially claims that Andraste saved you from the breach. If it were up to you, how would you reply?
I'd tell the Chantry I was saved by circumstance, not divine intervention.
Yet as rumors your Andraste's herald grow, the Grand Clerics may not believe such a humble reply. A difficult situation, and I thank you for your answer. A good day to you.
Yes, Ambassador?
I'd like to discuss your parents.
A little sudden, but it's time someone made an honest man of me.
What? Very amusing. This is serious. I'd like to dispatch a courier asking the bands of House Trevelyan to align themselves with us. What are your thoughts? Should we approach your family for their formal support of the Inquisition?
If that's what you want, I'll send a letter to my family. They'll respect the request if it comes from me.
Wonderful. That will save time. Valroyo has noted your lineage. It gives the Inquisition some legitimacy, although not so much as we'd hoped.
Why not?
You are from Ostwick. Orlesian nobles consider the free marches somewhat quaint.
Orlesians are just baffled free marchers governing themselves without an empress to hold their hands.
A peasant might get away with that insult, but not someone of your stature. Speaking of which, I should thank you for your patience with the simple quarters. The accommodations in Haven are surely rough for someone of your birth.
This can't be what you're accustomed to, Ambassador.
One adjusts. I stay busy. It helps take my mind from our surroundings. And the cold. And the wildlife. And the lack of civilization for miles around. Why anyone lived here before we found Andraste's ashes, I cannot imagine.
I can't wait until we find
Maybe
a better place to
they
live
enjoyed
than
the
a bunch of
nature.
hovels in the middle of an ice storm.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's such a relief to hear someone else say that out loud. If it were up to me, the moment it was safe, we'd relocate to Val Royal. Our enemies know where we are. We might live somewhere more civilized when they come.
Wow.
Inquisitor,
I guess because they're like quite high class people, the wilderness is too much for them.
And miles from any centers of civilization. The staff must make it presentable if we're to receive any visitors of distinction.
The people coming know we just survived Corypheus and a dragon.
Yeah,
And
I think they
must be
can.
confident we are able to do so again. The mages are showing great trust in you. They need to feel safe here.
Do you not feel safe here?
I've had difficulty forgetting Corypheus.
Yeah, that was a brutal
Do you
moment.
know who first leapt to arms? Our workers. They were so proud of our cause. Corypheus simply cut them down. So much screaming after that first blast of fire.
Oof.
So many people turned to ash.
We lost far too many good people to that monster.
I'm sure they'll find rest with the Maker. Well, before I return to my duties, allow me to congratulate you on your appointment as Inquisitor, my lord. I will now bring diplomatic issues to your attention, and I'm more than happy to help with any situations that arise.
I'm loath to part from such pleasant company. Would you care to walk the castle with me?
Ooh.
Well, a tour then? Let me fetch the steward.
That isn't precisely what I was hoping for.
Well, do let me know
Some
if you
what a
change your
one
mind.
time.
Now I must find someone to prepare the guest quarters.
Ah.
Inquisitor, is it true? Is the mark on your hand magic cast by Corypheus?
Corypheus claimed it's a spell gone wrong.
I wanted to think it was a blessing. A sign the Maker was
Nope.
returning to his creation.
None of
How
that.
credulous of me.
Perhaps the Maker set these events in motion so long ago we can no longer see his hand in them.
It would be fitting if that were true. Does it hurt? The anchor, that is.
Only when I laugh.
Very good, Inquisitor. And what else did Lady Forsythia say?
That she'd rather drown herself than help the Inquisition.
Anything else?
Wow.
She said
What a
she'd have us flogged
statement.
alive if we allied with her brother.
Flogged
that does
alive.
sound like her.
What a charmer.
Cheer up, Josie. We at least have her attention.
You always do find the brighter side of things.
She's like, oh, I'll get out of your
We are in
hair.
the midst of cementing an alliance with Lady Forsythia of Navarra, your worship. It's become a somewhat delicate task.
Should I post more guards outside your room?
That should be unnecessary, Inquisitor. I dissuaded her from sending soldiers when she learned we'd struck an accord with a brother she's feuding with. Lady Forsythia simply employs a colorful manner of speech.
You're rather good-natured about threats of death and dismemberment.
Yeah, I was gonna
They are
say.
chiefly
In other
bluster,
words,
Inquisitor.
she's just a
Most of
pain.
them. But I confess I do miss my staff from the embassy in Antivan. It was always useful to discuss the day's visitors with them.
I have time, if you'd like to review things with me.
I wouldn't wish to impose.
If it were imposing, I wouldn't have offered.
Well, I admit there are a few potential alliances it would be good to discuss. Right on the parlor floor, in front of everyone at the soiree. Who does such a thing in front of their guests?
The Duke of Kellington, apparently.
And Sarah, can she not find a single overshirt with that mustard stains on it? Then there's Dorian. The man refuses to take anything seriously unless it suits its whim. Not to mention... Oh goodness. Have we been here an hour already?
2.5 hours, I think, but no one's counting.
Dear, I didn't intend to go on for so long. You must think me quite the gossip.
Yes,
Spending
you
time with
are,
such
but
an
it's
engaging
cute.
woman
It's
is
cute.
never unpleasant, Lady Montillier.
Goodness. I'm glad I haven't wasted your day. Well, I've taken up quite enough of your time already. Until next time, your worship.
Who rules Antiva?
Officially, the Principality of Antiva is governed by His Majesty King Fugelno II. In reality, Antiva's merchant princes rule the country in everything but name.
Yes.
Quite loudly, I might add.
What sort of dealings did you have with these merchant
I still don't
families?
quite understand
As
that, though.
ambassador, I attended Privy Council meetings in a mediatory capacity. May I just say, one has never heard an argument until they've sat in on 15 princes howling down each other's tariff suggestions.
If you must deal with legislation, at least it's lively.
It's all a part of life in Antiva. Our traditions value passion and romance. A certain exuberance of style.
Are you positive you're Antivan?
I can be most exuberant when it's called for. Just at the right moments, and in a proper fashion. Might we speak of something else?
What's the land like in Antiva?
The settled areas are quite lush. The vineyards run as far as the eye can see in some places. Antiva City, however, perches right up against the Rialto Bay. That's what I miss most. The sea crashing against the maze of the docks.
I have difficulty seeing you wandering round a trading port.
Everyone in Antiva City spends time by the ships, my lord. The finest restaurants and poets all make their habitation by the sea. The waterfront's never still. Lanterns are lit along the promenade no matter what the weather.
Are you ever homesick?
Occasionally.
The way she
When a
talks,
breeze
you can
stirs
tell
the
she's
trees in the
homesick.
garden, I sometimes pretend it's the sound of the surf. Do you know, I even miss those terrible squawking birds infesting the harbor. My youngest sister used to throw whole loaves of bread to the gulls. Silly thing.
You said the Montiliers used to run an entire trading fleet. What happened?
There was a scandal in Val Royaux more than an age ago. The Montiliers were forbidden from trading with Orlais. Our personal fortunes never quite rebounded.
Does anyone in Orlais even remember what that scandal was?
I doubt it, but the injunction persists.
What exactly happened?
An affair with a minor lord. Perhaps. Most other details are lost.
Are you saying your family's livelihood was ruined because of a love affair no one even remembers?
Essentially, Orlesian politics are full of these unhappy little missteps, Inquisitor.
You haven't really gone into detail about how you know Leliana.
We met... let me think. We met the last few years of my schooling, but we became friends after I became ambassador to Orlais. It seems terrifyingly long ago now.
How exactly did you and Leliana reconnect in the Inquisition?
I discovered my family had been overcharging a merchant we traded with for months. Our name carries a great deal of trust in Antiva. I spent weeks arranging a string of favors as suitable recompense. Apparently satisfied, the merchant extended me an invitation to her estate. Leliana greeted me in place of the merchant.
I assume the entire problem was some form of trial.
You assume correctly. Leliana claimed she needed someone of painful integrity for the Inquisition. I accepted, once she finally explained what it was.
Do you remain close?
Yes, but she's grown so much more distant than the outgoing woman I met in Val Royaux. Leliana used to wander the Orlesian courts, singing the sweetest
Yeah, my
songs,
girl's been through a
charming
lot.
the greatest wits. Now she collects secrets and takes risks that would make empires tremble.
Yeah, she's
I
been
worry
through a lot of stuff.
She will not hear it.
Does Leliana confide in you?
She enjoys revisiting our more disastrous adventures. Leliana used to concoct the most ridiculous plans. Run if you ever see her with a twine ball, a measuring stick, and a handkerchief.
Tell me about the Montiliers.
Well, my parents are alive and in good health. They live in our estate in Antiva City. Of my 4 siblings, most attend to the running of the family vineyards.
4 siblings.
That reminds me, I must ask someone
Oof,
to make sure
that
that
sounds like a bit of a madhouse, doesn't
My
it?
youngest sister has no head for social engagements.
Why are you overseeing your siblings' social lives?
It's Antivan custom. After a certain age, the heir apparent runs the family's estate to prove they're worthy of succession. If you're unfit for the task, the heads of the house, usually one's parents, may decree a new heir.
What do these Antivan heads of the household do if they don't run it?
They work and provide guidance. I've taken advice from my parents. Well, Mostly mother. Father's more of an artist. It's rather gauche, but we never can dissuade him from running his own salons. Between him and my siblings, mother's looking forward to my taking over the estate.
I imagine there must be give and take between a family heir and their parents.
There is a fair amount of arbitration. Bickering, if one is less polite. But managing the estate is my duty. As much work as it is, I will not shirk it.
Is running your family's estate that important to you?
I'm responsible for their welfare. A Montilier never shuns their familial duty. Taxing as those duties can sometimes be.
I think you're too finicky to give those responsibilities to the rest of your family.
You don't know them. Put Lorien in charge, or Antoine, or Yvette? No, truly. It must be me. Inquisitor, I must speak with you.
What is it?
I must explain something first about the Montilier's fortunes.
Go
I
on.
remember you said your family had been forbidden from trading in Orlais.
Indeed.
It's devastated our finances. The Montiliers have, in fact, been in debt for over 100 years.
Oh wow, that is a lot
Debt or
of debt.
no, you appear to be surviving.
That isn't enough. A disaster could wipe us out completely. For generations, we've done everything to keep creditors at bay. Sold our lands to stave off interest.
100 years.
It is
Oof.
infuriating
That is a
to
lot.
see my family still reduced to this. I'm to become head of our house. If I sell any more of our land, my family will become destitute. That cannot be my legacy to them.
Even her pacing back and forth
Most
is
people
so
worry
extra.
about their next meal. Never mind an estate.
I'm not blind, but I worry for my family. My foolish sister Yvette with her daydreams. My brothers trying to rebuild our fleet with their own hands. Is it wrong to hope they never know hardship?
Is there anything I can do?
I don't think there's
I'd
anything wrong with that.
almost solved our
Wanting to
problems.
protect them from it.
For a while. I negotiated a chance to reinstate the Montiliers as landed traders in Orlais. We could rebuild with that. But when I dispatched paperwork to Val Royeaux, I've just learned my carriers were murdered.
Oof.
And the documents restoring my family's trading status destroyed.
Do you have any idea who murdered them?
Leliana made inquiries that bore success. Comte Boisvert, a nobleman in Val Royeaux, claims to know who killed my messengers. He has a request that you come when I meet him, so he's seen publicly conferring with you.
What will being seen with me gain the Comte?
The Comte will drop hints at parties he's to meet with an important visitor. Allies and rivals will take note. Once he's met you, there will be speculation. The Comte will subtly spin reports to his advantage.
That is a very risky word, I'm not gonna
but
lie.
if he knows who killed my people, I ask that we indulge him.
If that's what it takes to get to the bottom of this, I'll meet this Comte with you.
Thank you, Inquisitor. It means you are too kind. I must know who killed my couriers just to harm my family.
Welcome, my friend.
Their masks just make me die.
Thank you
It's
for
just
seeing
so
us, Comte
funny.
Boisvert.
The honor is mine. Please, sit.
Like, how is he
It's an
going to
honor
drink
to
that?
assist to such distinguished guests.
Unless he has a straw, he literally cannot drink
We
it.
appreciate your help, Comte.
The death of Lady Montilier's servants must weigh heavily on you. Have you heard of the House of Repose?
The Assassin's League?
My contacts obtained a copy of a document in the archives. Contract for life.
The House of Repose is hereby sworn to...
It's
eliminate
covering his
anyone attempting
lips!
to overturn the Montiliers' trading exile in Orlais.
They're not just after your messengers, Josephine. They'll try for you, too.
I am afraid so, yes.
The contract was signed by a noble family. The Duparquets.
But the Duparquets died out as a noble line over 60 years ago.
Indeed. But the contract was signed 109 years ago.
How can a family try to kill you after they died out?
The
The
contract.
Duparquets were our rivals. They drove the Montiliers from Val Royeaux. This contract was drawn up over 100 years ago, but it wasn't invoked until I tried to overturn my family's exile.
Unpleasant though it may be, the House of Repose is merely fulfilling its contractual duties.
If the people who wanted your family dead are gone, why are the assassins still after you?
It is quite funny,
Contract,
really.
Inquisitor. Orlesian businesses live and die by their reputations.
God, Inquisitor,
The
no
entire guild's
better.
welfare would be endangered if an agreement was tossed aside on a whim of time or fate.
She's quite right, Your Worship. The House of Repose is doing what it feels necessary, by its standards.
I assume you have a thought or two on this, Josephine.
The Duparakets still have descendants under the common branch. If we elevate them to nobility, a Duparaket could annul the contract on my life.
That will take time, Lady Montilyet. Time during which the House of Repose will be obliged to hunt you.
Will they now?
Ooh.
You are exceedingly well informed. You're not to have said you'd heard rumors, at best.
A bit of subterfuge. This contract on your life is an ugly business. One the House of Repose deeply regrets. But this is Orlais. Even an assassin's word is his bond.
Does Comte Boisvert actually exist?
Absolutely. The Comte's offer to reveal the killers of Lady Montilyet's messengers was genuine. So was his information somehow. An end to be tied up later.
Ooh.
I'm guessing the actual Comte Boisvert met with a fatal accident.
Comte Boisvert slumbers in a nearby closet. Nothing more. The contract on Lady Montilyet's life is so unusual, we felt the courtesy of an explanation was in order.
It is appreciated, monsieur.
Your idea to seek out a Duparaquet to revoke our orders is an interesting one. I wish you luck.
I mean, I have mad respect for him for coming face to face and just basically being like, interesting. I want to hear firsthand.
Inquisitor. Only to speak. Might I pass?
Why warn us about your contract and let us go?
In Orlais, it is only decent to inform those involved in a
Common
contract when
decency, of
extraordinary
course.
circumstances conspire.
And the guild's reputation would suffer if you ignored the contract. I quite understand.
Thank you, my lady. May we conclude with my departure?
Go then.
Good day, Your Worship. My lady, I pray we never meet again.
I do have respect for him for coming and being just upfront about it.
I'm so sorry, Inquisitor. I never thought my family's trading status would trap us in an assassin's plot.
Between our soldiers and spies,
you just can't.
Skyhold's
You
safer
can never
than
know.
anywhere else in Phaedus.
Yet the problem persists. I've tracked down the last Duparaquets. If they become Chantry, they can annul the contract on my life. We'll require a noble from Val Royaux to sponsor them, a judge to provide documents, a minister to ratify them.
It's so like you to take the longest course of action, even when your life is at stake.
It's quite humorous, really.
I assume you already know everything about this mess.
Of course. She probably knew
There is a faster way,
beforehand.
Josephine. The original contract on your life is in the vaults of the House of Repose. If my agents infiltrate it and destroy the original, the assassin will have no obligation to chase you.
Leliana, please. I want no more bloodshed over a personal affair.
Don't be so stubborn, Josie. How long will it take you to gather these favors in Val Royaux?
We can solve this without more deaths on either side.
My people are ready, should you change your mind. I'll post a watch on our ambassador in case the House of Repose visits.
I appreciate it, but I still believe elevating the Duparaquets will solve this.
Liliana's like, you're literally risking your
First,
life,
we
but
need to
fine,
perform
whatever.
some favors in Val Royaux. I'd be happy to discuss where we could begin.
How exactly does one turn farmers into members of the upper classes?
There are procedures for granting honored citizens of the Empire the title of Lord or Lady. Very long procedures. And so much paperwork. I've called in a substantial number of favors just to cut through half of it.
Why did the Duparaquets hate the Montilyets so much they set up a permanent assassination watch?
There's not much more beyond what I mentioned before. A Montilyet and a Duparaquet fell in love. A young couple, pledged elsewhere, attempted to elope. The whole thing ended so violently, it's a wonder any survived. It's fortunate the Duparaquette's descendants hold no grudges.
What if the Duparaquettes refuse to aid you?
I've already contacted the Duparaquettes, Inquisitor. They're ready to help us. It will be a long road, but a lordship is a chance to restore a proud lineage to their heirs. Besides, I've promised them a heavy bag of coin once this is over.
Are you sure the House of Repose will forget this assassin contract on a farmer's signature?
It's perfectly legal. In Val Royeaux's noble circles, a written word is a bond. Besides, the guild would never risk being so unspeakably crass.
These assassins are afraid of being seen as impolite.
Breaking one's public oath or bond implies a certain poverty in Orlais. A common merchant may lack the resources or manners to fulfill a debt, but among the guilds, it would be shameful.
They'll cast you out.
Favors in Val Royeaux if we want to make the Duparaquettes lords.
The Countess Dion is our first step. Her lover, a mage from the White Spire, is missing. Bring her news of him and she'll be very amenable to sponsoring the Duparaquettes as lords.
What happened here?
The House of Repose decided to pay a visit. The guards arrived in time, but I should have guessed the assassins would infiltrate the servants.
Are you sure they didn't hurt you?
They only frightened me. It was all so sudden.
Oof.
Leliana assigned people to shadow me. They appear to have saved my life.
Damn.
I owe you everything, Sergeant.
Only my duty, Ambassador. I'll talk with the spy master about
See,
these murders
Leliana
later.
was
She'll
smart
find
about
how they
this.
got in.
She knew. She wasn't silly.
I received a letter from the House of Repose, Your Worship. They acknowledge their contract is null and void. There is no longer a price on my life.
I'm glad you don't have to live your life looking over your shoulder anymore.
I regret we were forced to deal with them. That you were endangered by my part in the game.
Oh, don't be so dramatic. It's never
Did I
a
ever
problem,
mention I
Josie.
used to be a bard.
You were a singer.
Bards entertain the Orlesian court. They sing, play music, make charming conversation, and spy. Many young nobles put on a mask and practice playing the game in such a fashion.
What made you interested in becoming a bard?
I was attending a university in Val Royeaux when I learned about bards. There was such an air of romance about them. Stories of secrets, trysts, and fascinating people. A group of us, young gentry from Antivan, decided this exciting life was for us.
You seem a bit steady for such an outgoing lifestyle.
The life of an entertainer didn't suit me at all. During one particular intrigue, I encountered a bard sent to kill my patron. We fought. Or perhaps scrapped is the better word. Both of us terrified. We were at the top of a steep flight of stairs. The other bard drew a knife, and I pushed him away from me. You can imagine the result.
Yes.
You were only defending yourself.
But it was such a waste, Inquisitor. When I took off his mask, I knew him. We'd attended parties together. If I'd stopped to reason, if I'd used my voice instead of scuffling like a common thug...
It works both ways,
wonder
though. He
who
didn't do that.
young man would have grown into.
He's the one who
He
drew the
seemed willing
knife.
enough to murder you for the game.
Exactly.
Perhaps. I feel I'm the last to judge whether or not he would have actually used the blade. In all the commotion... forgive me. I don't believe I ever thanked you for helping me with this.
No need.
I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Such a gracious woman deserves nothing less.
Just showering her with compliments.
I'm quite overcome.
Should I stop?
Oh, no. I mean, yes. I meant... no, I don't...
Wow.
If you meant to draw
She's
a
taken
blush to
aback.
my cheeks, you've completely succeeded. Let's return to Skyhold before anyone notices. It's good to see you.
Josie's speechless.
How do you
Wow.
stay so civil with everyone, Josephine?
Bonds of circumstance among the nobility are fickle. Civility is the only constant everyone admires. And I do deplore rudeness in those who know better.
Does it even become a strain sometimes?
Well, it can be trying. There is no shortage of self-regard among the nobility. The game can be wearying, discouraging, and extremely baneful. But honestly, I'd miss meeting people. I've made the most fascinating friends.
One good thing about becoming Inquisitor has been meeting so many different people.
I'm pleased. I imagine we appear a strange bunch to those outside our circle. Mages, Templars, Seekers, and an apostate elf are not often found working.
You got the
in
whole
public.
shebang, honestly, everyone mixed in together.
Inquisitor, may I have a word?
Oh.
I notice you've paid Lady Montelier quite a number of compliments.
You found me out, Spy Master.
An entanglement with our ambassador seems most unwise.
Oh.
I asked Josephine to join the Inquisition because we needed a diplomat, not so she could be toyed with.
Oh.
Is my own Spy Master telling me to watch myself?
While it would be pity of me to tamper with your supper over this, she is a very good friend.
Oh, she's just
Josephine's
protecting
no stranger to courtly
Josie.
intrigue.
Stop it.
But love? There she's an innocent. She has no idea you are truly attracted to her. If indeed you are.
What do you have against the idea of me being attracted to Josephine?
I have not known you long, Inquisitor. Neither has Josephine. Her heart is easily carried away. I want to be sure it's taken by someone who truly cares.
That is such a good friend.
If you feel anything towards Josephine, I want to know.
Yes, I'm very attracted to Josephine.
Is that so? Whatever is between you, I ask that you treat her with kindness. For her sake, as well as yours.
Oh my
Whatever
god.
happens, I'm glad to see Josephine has a concerned friend here.
The underlined threat.
I have so few true friends these days. Those that are left I deeply cherish. I will not trouble you any further, but I do watch over my friends. Good day, your worship.
Yeah, I feel like
Well,
Leliana wouldn't be a
just
good...
gave me quite the speech.
Yeah, she would not be a
What
good
about?
enemy to have.
About us.
Oh, she is impossible. Might we discuss this somewhere more private?
Leliana said I was an innocent in love?
Oh.
More or less.
Of all the... I'm quite capable of understanding our association. I've never thought your intentions were overly romantic, Inquisitor. I assure you.
Perhaps I should have composed a ballad then. Sent roses.
What? You mean you do?
Oh, this is so sweet.
We've only just... I didn't wish to presume you harbored any tender feelings for me.
I have no objections. Presume away.
But we haven't even known each other a few short months. How can you declare this liking for me after such a brief time together?
I've never met anyone whose presence affects me like you do. Perhaps it just means I'm a hopeless romantic, but there you have it.
I would
Yes.
not object to a
Yes, it does.
closer relationship between us, my lord. If that sounds agreeable to you.
Oh.
I'm actually quite glad Leliana prompted this talk.
I suppose she was right after all. Please don't tell her I said that.
I wouldn't dream of it.
And the music in the background's just so wholesome. That was so sweet. I like how she got all like flustered. Oh, the little legs stop. That was so
How are you, my
sweet.
I'm courting the most beautiful woman in the entire castle. That helps a great deal.
Oh my, you flatter me much too much.
How far do your roots go back to Orlais?
Very far. The Monteliers used to have vast holdings in Valroyo itself. I wish I could have seen them, especially the ones bearing the family crest. The original crest design was abandoned when we were exiled from the city. I've always wanted to find a copy.
Has our being together set any tongues wagging?
Undoubtedly. A rumor already gave you a dozen suitors the moment you took your title.
Who are these rumors pairing me with?
Oh
I can
god.
only speak to what was whispered in several courts.
Josephine.
To begin with, Cassandra, Leliana, Cullen, Dorian, Mother Giselle, Enchanter Fiona, Chancellor Roderick, 3 Rs, 2 Counts, and some man named Philip. Honestly, I don't think he even exists.
Why was Leliana so set against us being together, Josephine?
Think nothing of it. She'd disapprove of anyone I chose to keep.
Yeah, I
secret
don't think it was
from.
personal.
Back in
I think she
Valroyo,
just loves
Leliana
her
was
friend.
Practically my older sister.
Yeah.
So you two never had a romantic history together?
A romantic... You did hear me say Leliana was like a sister to me.
Yeah, they're
She's
very...
a most dear friend.
Yeah.
And nothing more.
I thought we might
She
go
just seems
somewhere
very
a little
protective
more
of her.
private for a while.
I have so much to do, but... Oh, let's do. After you. Why, what's this?
You said you wanted to see your original family crest? I found one for you.
Oh, he's so awesome.
I'm astonished. I'd given up hope that any example of the early family crest still existed. It even has our first motto, back from when we had a trading fleet to speak of. From sea to shore, we tame the waves.
That's a nice quote. I like it.
Anything to see you smile.
You've certainly succeeded. Thank you.
It's just so wholesome. It's just too much for me to cope with. Oh my
Wait
god,
a
his
moment,
outfit!
if you please.
So beautiful. What?
I'm sure you know how to handle most.
Sorry, I got a bit OTT
But
there.
the game is nothing like the Free March's intrigues. It is no simple matter of etiquette and protocol.
This is so much
Every
nicer.
word, every gesture is measured and evaluated for weakness.
This is so much nicer than the bloody
Don't
Nutcracker
sound
outfit.
delightful. I'm shocked we haven't invited the court to dinner at Skyhold.
The game is like Wicked Grace played to the death. You must never reveal your cards. When you meet the Empress, the eyes of the entire court will be upon you. You are safer in the Fade with the Fear Demon.
Oof.
You're just full of joy and light this evening.
Everything will be fine.
She's just dressed. Look, these outfits are so much nicer.
Umbra stay watch over us all.
Josephine! Oh, Josephine! Is this him?
Inquisitor, please allow me to present to you my younger sister, Yvette Gabriella Montillier.
There can never be too many Lady Montilliers in Thedas, can there?
Inquisitor, I've heard so much about you, but not as much as I want. Josephine writes, but she never tells me anything. Is it true? You and Josephine are going to elope and move to the Andefels and join the Grey Wardens and fight Darkspawn?
Yvette!
I want to know.
I already packed our bags, didn't I, darling?
I knew it.
Inquisitor, please give her no more ammunition.
Oh, I love
Thank
it.
you.
Which power should the Inquisition throw its weight behind?
Celine has held the throne successfully for years. I see no profit in ousting her. Gaspard has run military campaigns, but never a kingdom. His transition would be, let us say, chaotic.
Yeah.
Tell me about yourself, Lady Yvette. This is the first time I've encountered any of Josephine's family.
She would forget to mention the artists. I've been studying painting under Antiva's royal tutors. You should be proud, Josie. I'm going to be exhibiting my work next season in the city's biggest salon.
Have you actually sat down and finished the painting yet?
I must wait for my inspiration.
And I must wait for your tutor's bills.
Enjoying the ball?
I see many of...
The dancing is so dull, your worship, but the Empress's gallery is magnificent.
Yvette,
Sorry, Josie.
Go on, Josephine.
Half Val Royal must be empty. So many of the Empire's finest are in attendance. They've noticed the Empress paying you special attention, but they don't quite know how to take advantage of it yet. This uncertainty won't last long, I'm afraid.
This may be my only chance to hear about when Josephine was a girl.
Oh, yes. As she told you about when she was 10 and...
Yvette, stop.
Fine. What about when we were climbing the cliffs by the...
No,
She once told the Duke of...
absolutely not.
She still plays with her doll collection when no one's looking.
Yvette! That's absurd. Absolutely preposterous.
God, these outfits are so much nicer. I'm gutted. Why couldn't we have these?
You look troubled.
It's interesting
I'm
how a
just worn
simple color palette could change
Tonight has
everything.
been very long.
It was a tumultuous evening, but Orlais is safe now. It was worth the struggle.
Oh,
Is
look
there
at her inching
anything I can do?
closer.
Can I get you anything? A drink, perhaps?
Would you care to dance with me, Lady Josephine?
I was hoping you'd ask, my lord.
How bracing to be in the thick of the game again. The last time I was at Alam Shiral was Countess Letienne's wedding. There were a dozen affairs, 5 secret alliances, and a duel between 2 chevaliers over the vintage of an Antivan port. Just was en masse. I've never seen the Winter Palace in shock.
No one can say the evening wasn't memorable.
They've already begun composing songs about it in Val Royale, no doubt. The game's become increasingly insular in the past few years. Corypheus skillfully took advantage. It's disturbing. So few people in the Orlesian court were aware of the Duchess's machinations.
You'd think the game's greatest players would spot a murderer in their midst.
You would think, but everyone's fake!
Familiar rivals become the only ones worth sparring with. But let's not lose sight of victory. Your actions at the ball have secured us allies and favors alike.
My favorite moment of the evening is still our waltz in the garden.
I could have danced with you for hours. We must do it again sometime.
Stop.
There you are. I've been looking all over for you.
What's the matter?
I've
What's the
just
matter?
received the most terrible news.
What is it?
I'm engaged.
Say what now?
I sense this is complicated. Tell me more.
What?
For the past year, my mother and father have searched Antiva for a match for me. They had no idea you and I had grown so close. Today, I received a letter declaring they've betrothed me to Lord Adorno Cielo Tranto of Antiva. I must deal with this.
Oof.
But until then, we cannot be seen in a compromising situation. I'm so sorry.
Oh, bless her.
Are you saying we should act like nothing has happened between us?
Oof.
No, not at all.
It's just
But
complicated.
it is not right that we carry on while I am betrothed.
Yeah, no, it'll make
I
her
must
look
break off
bad.
the match first.
Yes, I understand
I
that, to be
assume
fair.
your parents have political alliances resting on this engagement.
For once,
Ooh,
that
he
is something
sounds-
quite far from my mind.
He sounds very angry.
This
I mean, you
is
would
not
be,
what I wanted
but
to
still,
happen.
it's not her
Barely
fault.
remember Lord Otranto. I must see to this. And to my other duties. If I can keep my mind on them today at all.
Ooh, that got very complicated very
Inquisitor,
quickly.
I'm afraid untangling my engagement to Lord Otranto will take some time.
Is there anything I can do?
He is Antivan. The only acceptable thing to do would be to challenge him to a duel for my favor.
I don't want to kill the man, but if fighting him to a standstill works. so
Love
be
his
it.
confidence.
What? No, Inquisitor, please. That was said in jest. The traditional form of dueling among Antivan nobles isn't usually fatal, but there's always a chance of harm. I hardly wish to see you skewered on a sword point for the sake of my honor.
If I dueled this Lord Otranto, I could force him to give up his betrothal with you.
But you could be...
Fight for your woman!
Dueling is a very precise
Do
art.
it!
Men and women spend years perfecting their skills with a rapier.
Do it!
I couldn't bear to think of my family putting you in any further danger.
It's for love!
Again.
Tell me again about this Antivan lord your parents engaged you to.
He said bitterly.
Adorno Cielo Tranto. His family runs several shipping companies in Antiva that do very well. Of the man's temper and disposition and habits, I know nothing. Well, mother claims he enjoys sailing and dueling, but what Antivan lord doesn't?
You don't favor this marriage, Josephine, do
Well,
you?
obviously not.
Certainly not.
Come on, my
If I hadn't
guy.
met you, perhaps I'd have been amenable, but honestly, you've no worry.
She's in love.
Does Antiva law force you to marry? Can't you break off the betrothal?
In theory, I very easily could. In reality, if I reject Lord Otranto without proper niceties, it will scar my family's name. Perhaps ignite a feud. Disentangling myself from the engagement will take months. Or years.
What
When
now?
you're worried about your family, what happens to us?
I cannot be with you until the question of this engagement is settled. It is simply not my own reputation. It is my family's. I cannot have the right to risk it. As
Her parents were silly for doing
much
this.
as I might wish to. Why did this become so dreadfully complicated?
Pick up a sword, my guy, and fight for your love. Oh, is he going to fight for her?
I am Lord Otranto of Antivan, rightfully betrothed of Lady Josephine Montiel.
This is hilarious.
Songs of your exploits have spread to my city, Inquisitor. It's humbling to make your acquaintance.
Oh my god, I love it. Everyone's like, oh yes, a duel? To fight for a woman. Yes.
It is a pity it will not last long. Before we duel, I trust you find the weapon to your satisfaction.
Am I not allowed to pick my means of defense?
I am the wounded party in this duel. Tradition dictates that I select our weapons.
Yours is faulty then, obviously.
If you fear you might be clumsy with such a refined instrument, there is no shame in a forfeit.
I trust you've made this a fair fight, Lord Otranto.
Don't trust anything.
Upon my honor. Shall we begin?
This is so great. This is so great.
An admirable start, Inquisitor. Perhaps House Trevelyan isn't the obscure backwater I've heard it to be.
I'm surprised no one's got some popcorn. It's just like, whoa, what's going on here?
Lady Montiel isn't here, exquisite as I've heard her appearance to be.
Don't rile him up now.
Cutting you down in front of Josephine would have given a poor first impression of House Otranto to my bride.
Oh my god.
Josephine doesn't want this engagement. Call it off.
To what purpose? You can't think I'd...
Stop!
Oh! Push them out the way. There you go. They're fighting for your love.
Josephine.
Oh.
Lady Montiel. What a pleasure.
Look at the... Oh,
What are you doing?
Oh, look at his face.
If I duel Otranto to stop your betrothal, any dishonor falls on me, not your family.
I would have found a way around it. The Inquisition needs you. I need you. Yet you threw yourself into danger.
For your love!
Why do this?
For love!
Why risk everything we've built? Why risk your life?
Because I love you.
You do?
He does?
I wasn't quite sure until I said it, but yes.
Stop!
Yes, I love you.
I love you too.
Oh my god. It's literally like a movie. Oh, that's so precious. Look at the way he's resting his head on her shoulder. That was so cute.
Well fought.
Lord Otranto.
I'd assumed your liaison with the Inquisitor was an affair of passion or convenience, Lady Montiel. But I'm not fool enough to stand in the way of true affection. The Otrantos regretfully withdraw the terms of our betrothal.
Thank you.
Do not thank me.
That is a good
I know
man.
I'm outmatched.
That is such a good man. Because he could have been, you know, he could have been very small about that, but he was not.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you about arranging the duel.
Given that you're in one piece, body and dignity, I forgive you. Just do kiss me again.
I love that she keeps putting her foot up like that. It's literally like a fairy tale kiss, do you know what I mean? Look at them!
I can't stop thinking about your duel in Val Royeaux. Running
So
into the middle of the
romantic.
crowd, the noise, the swords flashing. I was so worried for you, but at the same time, well, it was the most exciting thing I've seen in
Yeah,
ages.
we know.
You do remember what this Inquisition has been doing, don't you?
Yeah, but it wasn't
Allow
for
me to
her,
correct
it's
myself.
different.
The most exciting thing I have seen that didn't threaten to stop my heart. You know, when I first laid eyes on you back at Haven, I hadn't an inkling we'd become so close.
I didn't either. At first.
Then it's astounding either of us realized we had feelings for each other at all. These moments seem so dear, especially given your greater calling. Sometimes I must remind myself that I'm required to share you with the rest of the world.
Wow, what a sentence!
May want my time, Josephine. But you have my heart.
Then I count myself happy, beyond compare.
This is so wholesome, I literally can't with it. Stop!
Inquisitor, I hear this Eluvian lies in a temple nearby. No doubt you're departing for it now.
I can't believe he dueled for her. That was so bloody cute!
Spend quite some time in private.
How can you think of that?
How can I not?
We'll arrange something.
I bet you will.
Return once you can. We must plan for you to fight one last duel, my darling. This time for all of us. Once you find Corypheus, I suppose we must...
My darling.
Wait.
Oh.
I'll be thinking of you every step past Skyhold.
Flattering, but you have my permission to think of your battle. Please be sure to. I hope that you'll... Maker, I wish you didn't have to go.
You know how much I'd rather stay here, if I could.
It does not seem to make things easier. I must attend to some tasks before you draw out our enemy.
I literally
Do go
can't.
before I begin to cry.
Oh, that was actually just so freaking cute. I literally can't. Look at her waiting up there for her man. So precious. I literally love it. Oh, I can't. It's making me emotional. That was so cute. Yeah! Woo!
I should never have hired a new caterer so late.
Leave it be, Josie. Everything's fine.
It is not! I'm so sorry, nothing's quite as it should be. Do you like the drinks? I'm not sure about them.
If I told you the port was a little dry, would you burst into flame?
You're joking, yes? Please tell me you're joking.
He's joking.
What a disaster. Somalia was late, the invitations to our guests barely went out at all, and... It was so wonderful to prepare for a small banquet instead of the end of the world. Do you know what everyone is talking about tonight, from commoners to kings? Us. Thedas is discussing the success of the Inquisition.
You played no small part in our rise to power.
You had a role yourself, if I recall correctly. Truly, we will never forget those we lost. But for tonight, to victory.
May I join you?
Oh, yes. Oh, they're actually, I literally can't with them. They are actually so freaking cute.
I wanted to catch you. The celebrations appear to be winding down with the sunrise. I've never witnessed such a lovely sight.
Nor I.
Stop. I can't.
Sometimes your words are so sweet, they ache.
That's love.
That's you. It's been good to have this celebration, free of what the future holds. Whatever awaits us, my lord, I know only one thing. I would never have you face it alone.
Oh my god, I can't. That's so wholesome. Oh
It's so
god,
good
it's
to
this
see you,
god-awful
darling.
outfit.
I've been fielding Orlesian diplomats all afternoon.
Have they given you trouble?
Not at all. It is quite alarming. It means they are all saving themselves up for later. Would you walk with me? I should like to take some air before the Exalted Council becomes inescapable. The palace has been most accommodating. We are, after all, here at their insistence. But the ministers may... No. No more talk of the council. This meeting was to spend time with you in a more relaxed fashion.
Is this in your daily notes? 3 to 4 o'clock, idle chat with the Inquisitor.
Of course not. Not precisely. The truth is, there is a small entertainment happening tonight, to which I may
I
be able
still
to
wish we
find
saw
a pair of
this.
invitations.
You'd like me to go with you?
Very much so. In all the years you worked with Orlais, you had so little time to enjoy its culture.
Perhaps you're right. These meetings and talks don't allow for much leisure time.
And then back to Skyhold without a moment's pause to take in where we are. Sometimes, I'm afraid I do not make enough time for you, my love.
Oh, stop!
Please, come with me tonight.
Bless her.
And what is this small entertainment?
Something to ease our minds. I would very much like to surprise you with the details.
If it makes you happy, how can I refuse?
Oh, wonderful. I was worried we wouldn't find the time. The past years have been so busy. We have earned at least a few moments of rest.
A calm night out sounds...
Ha! A calm night out.
Oh, bravo! Bravo!
I just love how shocked they look. He's like, what did I just watch?
This was your idea of a restful evening.
Oh, wasn't it lovely? It's been so long since I've gone to the opera. But tell me, did you enjoy the performance?
The performance pales in comparison to the lovely lady I saw it with.
God, he
You're
really has a
sidestepping the
way with
question.
words.
Love leaves my tongue tied.
Well, in that case, I suppose allowances can be made. I'm glad to see you safe after venturing into the crossroads. I do not have to tell you to be careful, my love, but... Tell me, these strange spaces past the Alluvians, are they safe to explore?
None of
Well,
it's been as bad as the nightmare in the Fade. I can tell you that.
I will take your word for it. And yet, you've accomplished so much in the calm of these past years. I wish you did not have to imperil yourself for us. Again.
I won't take unnecessary risks. I have someone far too important to come back to.
And she will be happy for your return.
oh my god.
Be safe, my lord. Please. I will do what I can here. Once the Canary are dealt with, brace yourself. The Council is just as relentless. The Canary will feel the loss of their lyrium. It is not an easy commodity to come by. You've done well. The Exalted Council, meanwhile, has deadlocked.
This is what you do best, Josephine.
I should hope so. But eventually your hand must be at the wheel.
Yeah.
You will be called in soon. Move boldly and swiftly, and you may decide the outcome. The world's eyes are on you, my love. Let us remind them how you shine.
The Inquisition stopped Corypheus and saved the world. We can't let an outside threat change who we are.
I fought to protect the Inquisition in this exalted council. And for what?
Yeah.
So we could deceive and threaten those we claimed to protect?
Once we locate the spies...
This isn't about the spies. You hid the Kunari body. You've all but seized control of the Winter Palace.
We did what was right, not what was politically convenient.
Oof.
Do you know what this has cost us with Orlais and Ferelden? They are planning to dismantle us as we speak.
Yes.
And perhaps they are right.
Oh. Oh, bless him.
So, it's been getting worse. I don't know why. I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how much time I've got left. What I do know is that the Kunari need to be stopped. So I need to get to the Darvarad while I can still fight.
Oh my god, stop!
Thank you, Inquisitor.
Would you like us to inform the Exalted Council of the danger?
Yes. If we fail, the Exalted Council needs to know what happened.
I will inform them personally.
Leliana, I can...
No, your job is hard enough already. This is my responsibility.
I'll have guards ready at the Alluvion, in case the Kunari attack the palace.
Make a watch over you.
Okay, after easing the Inquisition's transition into the Chantry, Josephine returned to Antivan. Oh, wow. Okay, what? Sorry, that went really quick. I didn't even get a minute to even finish that. Okay, let's just... return to Antivan and her family. Okay, can you move? I can't see. You just... Okay, so she was soon, what does it say, approached by an agent from the House of Repose, whose assassins had been killed by Inquisition agents on Josephine's behalf. Far from being offended, the House of Repose was inquiring to I can't read that fast. I'm not that quick. It's just all too much for me. Where is it? It didn't even give me a second. Okay. Is it this bit? Is this where I got to? Inquiring. Oh, about their services, okay. That's fine. She quietly, what is this? Persuaded them she had no need for assassins, but instead hired them as guards for the Montelier's new trading vessels. Random pirate, random pirates looking to, well, something, blah, 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 don't know what that says, learned that the Montelier ships were not lightly boarded, and her house properly, prospered greatly. Okay. I cannot see that. The Inquisitor and herself warmly received, I don't know what that says, something, warmly received by Josephine's family, and House Montelier soon became a second home. A place where the Inquisitor could, at least, find peace for a time with Josephine happily by his side. Out of the three, this one is my favourite. This one was just so wholesome. I really, really liked this one. I love that he dueled for her. What the hell? It's just like, that was so cute. And he was like, I love you. And she was like, what? This one was, I must say, this one was my favourite. Top tier. Beautiful, 10 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as me. I love this one so much. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy Bulls and Dorians. This one, I don't know. This one was my favourite out of the three. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as me. If you did, don't forget to give a little cheeky like. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought. And I will see you all soon, guys. Bye.